Dean Cheng studies these things, joins us now. I want to start with the videos that we're seeing. Is the Communist Party letting these videos get out, or do they not have a choice? Because I can imagine the things they do that aren't caught on video are even a lot worse.
So the Chinese have a lot of censors, a lot of folks trying to make sure that the messages that get out are acceptable, but there is such a volume of social media, with everyone having cell phones and the like, that it's almost impossible short of shutting down the internet. And that is a step not even the Chinese are willing to take.
How worried is we're watching these images of what's happening? They're beating people in the streets. They're rounding up pets and executing them. Some of the videos, a lot of the videos we have are too graphic to even show on television, although they make a really important point. You've got that. And then the flip side is you've got people looting at grocery stores. How long can China go on with this? How brutal will they become to try and prove that COVID doesn't exist in China?
Well, there are reports that the Chinese People's Armed Police, which is in charge of riot control and things, is starting to flow people into Shanghai. There have even been reports of possible PLA units, although they might be military medical, moving in to help keep things under control. For Xi Jinping, who is going into the 20th Party Congress this fall, this is a real danger point. This is a real concern. The last thing he wants, as he's about to ask for an extended time being party general secretary, is for rioting in China's largest city, social media reports of people starving to death, all of that sort of thing.
Yeah, we have a soundbite of a man screaming in the streets. Before we show you that, these are pictures of the cats that have been rounded up of people who are sick. The cats will be executed. We've seen pictures of dogs being executed just summarily in the streets. So there you go. Here is one man upset, not about himself or his pets, but his family. Take a listen. Dean, you talk about how Xi Jinping wants another term. You've got all these container ships that are the lifeblood of the Chinese economy, unable to load goods and bring them to America. How does this end? Because I don't care. You're not going to eradicate COVID. We learned that.
Well, there are reports already that the authorities in Shanghai are starting to loosen up some of these COVID lockdowns. The government is claiming that if a district hasn't had any confirmed cases over 14 days, that people will now be allowed back out onto the street. The problem is that if they do that, you're probably going to wind up with more COVID cases just from people being tested. And if they are allowed to travel between Shanghai and other cities, you start having lockdowns in other cities. And that just spreads the supply chain problem, as well as obviously the lockdown problem and the people suffering.
Yeah, and we're running out of time, sadly. But when you're back, I want to get you, and you will be, because this is just going to continue and the videos are going to get worse, on how this ties into China's growing nuclear capability and their building of these new silos and warheads as well. Dean, it was good to see you. Thank you. Thanks for watching. Click the red subscribe button below so you can get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.